staying on education, but this time around it looks like a stalemate somewhat. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SSANU, and the Non-Academic Staff Union have declared a 7-day warning strike beginning on the 18th of March 2024 to demand the payment of 4 months of their members' withheld salaries after the 2022 nationwide strike. Decision was part of the resolution of the Joint Action Committee of the two unions after a meeting which held in Akure at the weekend. Don't forget that earlier, a few days ago, the same unions have come together to give a 7-day ultimatum for the government to respond to the agitation, but it does look like no response. Tonight, let's speak with the president of SSANU, Mr. Muhammad Ibrahim, who joins us live here in our Abuja studio. Thanks so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
2 Sundays ago, you were right there on that chair, and you were saying, you're reeling out your grievances and what the problems are, because I understand now that some students in federal universities are presently writing exams, and you said that if you and your members begin to down tool or go on strike, it will shut down the activities and the doors of our university. But now it does look like the federal government did not listen to you. What really happened after the 7-day ultimatum you gave the federal government?
Well, Sheun, it's quite unfortunate once again to come here and still lament to the insensitive nature of some of our government officials, because when this thing came up, we took the paths of honor and civilization, because our unions met, discussed, and we realized that there was need to reach out to those that matter, to those that are responsible for whatever that would have happened. Clearly, we gave them the benefit of the doubt that this could be a mistaken, there's an error somewhere. And we wrote our protest letter to draw the attention of government. Clearly, we wrote to the Chief of Staff, to the President, and then, of course, the minister supervising the Ministry of Education. And we drew the attention to the injustice made on our members. And 2 weeks down the line, there is no official response. And our members' agitation continues to grow. And we, at our meeting in Akure, over the last week, we met on Thursday and Friday. And the decision we took was that probably the only language the government understands is when we down tools. And this is what we have tried to avoid. But clearly, is unavoidable at this point.
Did they open any channel of communication after when you issued that ultimatum notice?
No official communication.
Nobody spoke to you from the SGS office, from the Chief of Staff office, from the Presidency, from the Ministry of Education, the Minister of Education's office? Nobody?
Nobody officially communicated with us.
And you reached out to them officially?
Definitely.
Up till now, there is nothing?
There is nothing.
And so you are now, what is the nature of your notice of industrial action?
Well, because in our union, we also have organs. And our constitution clearly spells out how we embark on industrial actions. First is to declare industrial dispute, which we did. And then, of course, meet at the different organs. The National Executive Committee, which is the highest decision-making body of the union, met in Akure, and we discussed, and we took the resolution that we should ask our branch leaders to go back to their branches to engage with our members and sensitize them, giving another 1 week. Like you mentioned, by the 18th, the national leadership of Joint Action Committee will fully declare the strike if nothing is done by then.
That's next Monday?
Next Monday, yes.
And confirmed to us, from what I gathered, that some universities are writing exams right now.
Definitely, yes.
Is it most universities or some?
Well, because of the disruptions here and there, the calendar is no longer seamless, it's no longer the same. So there are some that are in different semesters, some in first semesters, some in second semesters. So depending on where they are, but I know clearly there are some universities that, currently, going through the exams. Others have just resumed, and so on and so forth. But it's quite unfortunate that we have to take this painful decision. Like I said, some of us also have our children in such schools. But when we strike, definitely everything is grounded. Because
give us an understanding, because we need to start directing the blame or directing the action to those in government that should take action, because never should it happen in this country again where our universities will be shut for another 8 months, for another, even for a day. It doesn't just make sense for universities to be shut and students who have signed a contract with universities owned by government that they will spend 4 years, they end up spending 8 years, 7 years, and 6 years for a 4-year course. It doesn't just make sense. Who naturally should address your grievance in government? Which office?
This is a case of Mr. President granting a waiver to all university workers who went on strike in 2022.
Including the teaching staff,
yes, and
the junior teaching staff and the non-teaching staff, like your association and that of NASU.
Exactly. And in implementing Mr. President's waiver, they decided to choose one group and leave the other 3.
Which office did this? Is it the Ministry of Education or the Ministry of Finance? Which office? Because we need to know and be able to exactly...
Payments to university workers is done by the Office of the Accountant General through the IPPIS office. That is how it's done. The Ministry of Education has no hand in this as far as we know.
So the directive came from the Office of President,
yes,
who announced the waiver,
yes,
and who said, go ahead and pay.
Yes.
They paid the teaching staff,
yes,
which is ASU.
Yes.
But NASU and SSANU
were left out.
Have been left out. Yes. And 4 months now,
yes,
you have not been paid.
Yes.
And this is a grievance of 2002.
Coming 2022.
2022, rather. Yes. 2022, dovetailing into last year when the president made that, gave that directive. Yes. Give us an understanding. Naturally, should we be holding the Accountant General accountable for this failure? Most definitely.
Most definitely, because the memo that came from the presidency was addressed to the finance minister and down to the Accountant General of the Federation. And we are fully aware that these are how things are done. You know, the Accountant General gives the go-ahead to the Director IPPIS to pay university workers, because everything about personnel costs is handled by the IPPIS office. So it's just a case of, like I said the other time I came here, of a directive given and directive being implemented.
Have you queried the reason from the Accountant General's office, maybe covertly or overtly?
Well, we tried our best to get to know this, but you know, they have a way they operate. And these are not things that we come here and say in the public.
No, but is it that the federal government does not have the money to pay you? It's one thing that the president gave the directive. It's another thing that the federal government has the money presently to be able to pay you.
Where did they get the money they paid ASU?
Maybe they don't have to pay everyone. They don't have enough to pay everyone. I'm just trying to probe to know what the problem really is, because there should be a reason why they left NASU and SSANU out of the payment.
And this is $1 million question, because no one can answer that apart from them.
But what is your intelligence telling you? What are the information? Because your staff are so senior that you know how the system works.
Exactly.
You must be able to unofficially understand why this has been delayed.
Clearly, it's a misplacement of priority. If you leave me, that's what it is. Because if people who work in government clearly knows what it takes to run a system, they shouldn't have, you know, sideline one. It's a chain. The university system is a chain. And you know, in a chain, sometimes the greatest strength is weakest link. So you do not expect to treat one part of the system, you know, very carefully and then leave others, or they are treated lackadaisically. So whoever that is responsible in this clearly has shown that they do not understand how the system operates.
So I am anti-shutting down the university. Is it possible, since you can pinpoint on the office that is lacking or lagging in these, the office of the Accountant General, that's, you finger that office. Is it possible that your associations picket the office of the Accountant General, Accountant General of the Federation, rather than shutting the doors to the students, innocent students at that?
Well, we are a group of civilized people who are intelligent, who have been to school and know exactly how we should operate. We are not a gang, a group of gangsters that will just go and shut government offices every now and then. The idea of exposing this to the press and writing letters to government offices and those who that matter is to draw the attention of the public. There is no one in this country and even beyond that do not know that there is a problem in the system, because we have been on this matter in the last 2 weeks. We have written all those that are supposed to be written, and that we expect that by now those in government should have drawn the attention of those that matter. So where they do not do this...
Labor, part of the option of Labor in driving at home their point is picketing. You could picket.
Yes, definitely.
You could down tool.
Definitely.
You can protest.
Exactly.
So picketing is part of it. I'm saying, why don't you look at that option instead of shutting the classrooms and disallow the student to write exams or to learn or to go to school? If the Accountant General is the one that is responsible for it, picket his office or our office. Don't let her get into our office until she pays.
What a Labour leader has in his kitty is a toolbox. And in that toolbox are some of the things you have mentioned. And as of today, the decision that we are about to take or have taken is that of a 7 days warning strike to shut the system. And therefore, this will send jitters and signals to those of them in government. Where that fails, of course, other options are also there. And such picketing may not be out of place if we do. And then finally, it could also degenerate into a total shutdown for a period of time that we do not want to envisage. So what we are saying is that we still believe today is Monday, and we expect that we still have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for government to act. When they wanted to pay ASU, they started payments over the weekend. So it's not impossible
for them to pay.
Exactly.
So if you receive payment, you will not go. But if you don't receive payment by Monday, you will shut down the university.
Definitely, most definitely. And shutting down the university clearly is beyond even how it will affect the students, because it's everybody. There will be no electricity, there will be no water, there will be no security, there will be no hostels for students, and everything, you know, there will be no administration. And to surprise you is that even vice chancellors are involved in this, because VCs have not been paid, registrars have not been paid, Bursars have not been paid. So what type of decision, who are those behind it?
To be calling people that are, I mean, it's good that you said it's the Accountant General of the Federation's office that is involved in this. The Accountant General of the Federation, on behalf of the Nigerian people, we are pleading. We do not want the universities to be shut down again because of unions that are threatening strike. We hope that somebody in government will take action for the sake of our country. We're facing too much troubles already, hardship in the land, than our students and children to be staying at home again. But thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim, President of SSANU, for joining us tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, please, and we plead with you and your members to please, if possible, picket the Accountant General office rather than shutting down the classroom. Please, I'm begging you. We do not want what some of us experience in our days in university, spending more than we needed to spend for any of these students to be able to do that again. No, it should not happen. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thanks for the opportunity.